we're gonna work on the shocks today for the new Raptor. Come with me.
You underestimate
the power of the dark side.
Beautiful day today. So, just bought this beauty. It's a 2010 Ford Raptor, the first year they were ever built. And it's the burnt orange color. It's grown on me a lot since I've got it, and I really love it. So, we put new shocks on it. Obviously, that's what we do. If you've seen any of our other videos, we have a shock repair business. Anything from race cars to Ford Raptors and Rangers, everything in between. This is kind of my new favorite thing that we're doing here is these Raptor shocks, because now that I have one, I love them, and it's cool to see the difference for myself. It had 100,000 miles on it, but it was the cleanest one my dad said he's ever seen in the about 7-8 years now that we've been working on them. It's the cleanest for this year he's ever seen, he said. And it had never had the shocks worked on it before. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what they looked like on the inside. There they are sitting there, a couple of them anyway. Even though this truck was in really good shape, it still needs some work. So you're going to be probably surprised when you see what the inside of these Raptor shocks look like. We checked the gas in last video, and they were low there, and they were definitely leaking oil. So I know this oil is going to be low, and it's going to be probably pretty black, I'm guessing. It'll probably smell like shit, like normal. Yeah, even in a really good shape Raptor like this one, you're gonna be able to see just how rough the shocks are in them, or on them. So yeah, here's the ones we put on it since after we got it, and I noticed a big difference. It rides way better. So here's what they look like now under there. Can't really see much of the front, but brand new basically. We put new shafts in them. Everything is new. And we install Schrader valves so you can check the nitrogen in them. So there's the front. And then you probably saw the rears before, but I'll just record them again. And then here's the rear. Those were an exchange we did. So they were used, but we make them functionally. They're brand new when you get them back from us. So now I'll show you the inside of these Gen 1 Raptor shocks here. So you can see what they look like, why you need to rebuild them. Because you might say, oh, they look fine on the outside. Even the mechanics might say they look good on the outside. But they don't really know sometimes what they're talking about, unfortunately. Good news is you can bargain off. I think we did $1,000 less because we told them, I mean, they want to split the cost with us. They could do that, and then they were nice enough to work with us once I pointed it out. So let's get into it. Lately I started wearing these gloves. At first I kind of felt like a pussy because I always just use my hands, but you know, probably not a bad idea to do. These Gen 1s are so dirty usually that you want to have something on your hands, because you can wash your hands 7 times after you work on some of these, and they're so nasty that it'll still smell like them. So I'm gonna start wearing these, and it's probably better for you too. You probably don't need to be absorbing oil into your body, because obviously some's gonna get into your body from this, but that's me being a health weirdo, so don't worry about that if you don't want to. So Dad recommended these gloves. Glove Works. Want to sponsor me? That'd be great. I'll take anything I can get. But they work really nice. Some of these gloves I just couldn't stand because you can't grip anything. But these have some nice little grips on them. You feel like Spider-Man in them. So I'm gonna wear these today. Don't roast me. And we'll get into it. Let's tear apart one of the rears first. I think this one had like, I don't know, 100, probably like 50 pounds low on gas or something. Doesn't sound like a ton, but that's enough to notice. Here's the first one we got. You can see there's some corrosion and a little rusting, but this isn't bad. For most 2010s, they're gonna be a little worse than this even, probably. First step's less the gas out. Otherwise, this damn thing might blow up in your face. Never done that before. You can see anytime it looks like that, that's just dirt mixed with oil and not good. But the fronts were even worse, so this is one of the better ones. So we'll get her loosened up and see what the internal looks like on these. These always make you sweat because you don't know if they're going to come out or if you're going to have to cut them off. That adds some time to the job. Oh, we got one stripped. Yes. Get out, bitch. Fuck you. Let's try this one. Okay. So now I'm so blessed I get to use my hacksaw to cut this fur off. Let's have fun. Ah! Like that, just don't stab yourself. Just like that. There we go, that's tight. And work her around. You can get her started for a first turn, you're in pretty good shape usually. Sometimes these won't even come out. But just so corroded, these things get so old, a lot of stuff starts getting corroded on them. Well, this one will be junk and we'll have to replace this. It'll be like Allen wrenches. And this was a bolt, which we put in them sometimes. Probably would have been fine to get it out, but. Okay, there was some in there. A little bit of oil, you can see on the rag. But not terrible, that wasn't bad. Now we'll check the bleed screws. I think I need food. I had too much caffeine, I'm a little shaky. Trying to be amped for this vid. Ooh, that's not budging, so we're probably gonna have to heat that up and get that out. So she's already pretty seized. Yep, not budging. Okay. There we go. So the best part is to always see the oil because usually it's pretty black. And this one's actually got a fair bit of color. Still super dirty though. Let me just show you here when I pour it out. So it looks like there. Obviously some dirt in the oil, you don't want any of that. Oh yeah, that's black as frickin' night. Little tint of red, but it was all bright red once. It's not great. But honestly, for a 2010 Raptor, it's about as good as it ever gets. Pretty dirty, but yeah, not horrendous. Surprisingly, I think these fronts will be a lot worse. The rears are looking definitely better from the outside, less leaking, so not bad. And this Raptor spent probably 80% of its first 15 years of life down south, so that's usually why they're in better shape, is if they come from down there. So you can tell it on this one. It's not horrendous as far as corrosion. It'll always get worse. It's up here in the Midwest, so all that snow and salt on the roads unfortunately takes a toll on them. The snap ring out of here, you gotta have good snap ring pliers or you're screwed usually. All right, there's that. Clean that up. That's usually not great to have in there. You don't want that corrosion, especially if it gets further down in there like there. You're gonna have to clean that up so that way it doesn't mess with the O-rings. That keeps it sealed, keeps the gas in there. So I'm gonna clean that up, otherwise I won't even probably be able to pull that out. There we go. So there's that. Pretty dirty. And then look down in here. That's where you can really start to see some of the ugliness of it. Pretty bad. That oil should never be past this floating piston. And it got past there, so that's a sign. Got some scratches or the seals need work, or both. Need to replace the seals. We always do anyway, but that's a really good sign they really need it. There we go. Oof. That's pretty icky. Look at how black that oil is in there. Yeah, that's bad. That's the color it's supposed to look like. Silver, not black. There we go. Take this out of there. See if we can give you a little look down in here. Kind of what's going on. Super dirty. So I'm gonna get this cleaned out, the inside of the body, and then that tube down there, all my other parts, take off all the seals, replace them. And then I'll show you kind of the shims when I lay them out, how dirty this rag's about to get from those shims being filthy. There you go. Hear a little crack like that, it's a good sign, then you just work it around. This one's pretty rough. Right there you can see, it's pretty scratched, especially there. Here we go, now you can see. Pretty scratched there, and there, Bad news bears. We got one of the rears done so far, and here's the other one. Just gonna start on it. It looks about like the same condition as the other one, so I probably won't show you most of the process on this one. But you can see that the rack guard's pretty tweaked there. It's pretty cracked up in there. But so I'll keep you informed if anything's different on this one, and I'll let you know. And then we'll get to the front. So this one was in good shape. There's no marking in that groove, so this is on my other rear shock. So I went ahead and drilled and tapped this, installed a Schrader valve. That way they can check the gas in it in the future. So all ready to rip. All right, so now we're on to the front here, the fronts, and these ones were the ones that we saw from pictures that were really in bad shape. You'll see from this side here, this is the inside, where all the grease is where it is leaning towards the inside like that. So we could see all the oil was running in here, and then we told them, hey, these shocks are blown, we're gonna need to rebuild them. Would you bargain with us a little bit here? And they did. So this one, these are probably gonna be in a little rougher shape. Obviously I'm going to clean these more, and there's probably a lot less oil in them. There's a good chance some oil might come out of here. There you have it. You can see there was some oil in there mixed with the nitrogen. Definitely a sign that need to be rebuilt. Once again, this is very common in these. Usually much worse than this, but any in there is bad. Look at this. Oh my gosh. That just came out from under there. It's obviously leaking really bad. Oh, you can see the oil all over the shaft. Yeah, no, these are in they're in fine shape, the mechanic says. Sure doesn't look like it to me. It's gonna need some TLC. New shaft, seals, bushing, you name it, this puppy is gonna probably need it here. Let's check it. So that was probably gonna be quite a bit worse. The way it was leaking and everything, so. Oh yeah. So you saw on the other one, it was like more red, it had some red color. This is just pure black. They might have used blue grease on this, but either way, that ain't blue. Oh boy. Oh no. That's bad news bears, boys. And that is one of the worst signs possible for a shock. Just to be leaking like that. Pretty sure this is one we could push in by hand. As you can see, it's already so low in oil that we shoved it into that spot just by our hands. Shouldn't even be able to move that with your hand. Blue colored oil. Oh, geez, it's talking back. But yeah, this is why you gotta rebuild them before it gets to 100,000 miles, because then they're just trashed. So that's what was on the Red Beauty. And thankfully we replaced them. It's no surprise. Riding better now than before. Gotta put fresh ones on it. You gotta check the nitrogen, or you're gonna end up with a mess like this. Here's an example of a bushing that's very easily, you can see where it's shiny. It's definitely needing to be replaced. It's worn down, worn out. It should be eggshell all the way around. If you look at it right there, if you look at it right there in the orange, it's better there. When we keep spinning towards the other end, it gets really shiny right there. And that's what you don't want. So this one definitely needs to be replaced. The shaft is likely really bad too. Yep, you can see it's wore through the chrome there more than likely. And we got a bunch of scratches in there. Pretty KO'd. Then you can also see the shims are very dirty on this one. They need to be cleaned up, which we'll do, and measured in and everything with the caliper. And then we'll put it back together. We'll put new seals in here. And I don't know if I blew it out on accident, but I've never seen it happen before like that. But there was no bottom seal in here. I have no idea how that happened, but see if it's like that on the next one. That would not help it not leak. Okay, you can see in here, in that top groove, there's some corrosion. That might need to be replaced. Have old pops look at it, but I think we're probably gonna have to replace it because it's kind of getting up into that groove. In the middle there is where that O-ring sits and keeps the nitrogen in it. And these were a little low. And then this floating piston, see it's just filthy. We always take here and clean up these grooves because the grooves is where that's where the floating piston sits, and that needs to be smooth. So we'll clean it up. This one also didn't have the bottom seal. I just took out the middle one there and the top one on the right there. Or it was on the left actually. But anyway, this one didn't have the bottom seal. I don't know if it's because this old style. The old style has those round ones in there. If those are more susceptible to coming out or what, but the new style, or the other style of the rod guides have this one in them. I don't know, that is crazy. 2 in a row. Bad. I thought I was going crazy on the first one, but I guess not.